I already hit it.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, so we've been live this whole time?
The ultimate athlete.
The ultimate athlete.
What do you think of that title, Miko?
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me. If you take the CrossFit out of it, it's like just testing all the events separately. It's my jam. No, actually, it's different. It's from like regular CrossFit, because then you can have the pure strength, the pure endurance, not only like mixed modalities, not mixing everything together. It's like, yeah.
Well, we're gonna definitely. I want to dive into that. If don't know what we're talking about the Crucible, which is a competition taking place in Abu Dhabi in the UAE this upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And this is the third year in a row that it's ran. I don't think there was much advertisement around it in year one. A couple athletes did it. Mm-hmm. Year two, they got a much better field. And Miko Lilleorg was the champion last year, which is...
But last year, I found it out as well, like by a chance. Like I was texting one athlete, like, where you're going to go compete. And it was like, I'm going there. And then I checked their Instagram out and I was like, that's built for me. I'm going to go, I was actually supposed to go to Wodapalooza. I had my airplane tickets, everything, already bought. But then I changed it in the last minute. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, that's quite interesting to me because, I mean, obviously Wodapalooza is a destination competition, and it's kind of a bucket list thing, I would say, especially if you don't live in the United States. So something must have really caught your eye about this to make that change that late.
Yeah, like because as a CrossFitter, I'm quite new athlete. I mean, like I haven't been doing it for so long, but I know like my strengths and I know like my weakness is putting things together sometimes, like mixing different elements together. But over there, it's like simple, stupid, like how strong you are, how much can you do something, how fast can you run, how fast can you do the other like events.
And obviously, one of the other appealing things of this competition is big payouts.
Yeah, the money side. Like if you go there, you're gonna go there to win. Like you wanna make those. You wanna make the living out of it.
It's actually something that has become a little bit more intriguing to me. I mean, as the sport, the opportunities to compete in fitness and earn money continues to change. Athletes approach that in different ways. This competition, and I should say not just athletes, also competitions approach that in different ways. This competition has a $50,000 payout if you win, but they also pay out if you finish 30th. So they're $50,000 for the winner of a competition is probably fourth or fifth highest payout for one competition this entire calendar year. And they pay down to 30th place. So they're hitting a big winning number and they're paying a lot of people out. It's pretty cool.
And that last place, 30th, is $2,000. So it's like that's usually the winning at some bigger competitions. All right, nice. So we've been live this whole time.
Oh, you got two
I have no idea what just happened.
But yeah, it's like and it motivates, to go there and to try. If without like the payment, it's like you're motivated to go and try to hit those spots. Like I think that's why this year it's gonna be like extra tight field as well. Like everybody wants to go there and like bring down top spots.
Yeah, you and I were messaging to set this up, and you said outside of a couple competitions the rest of the year, which have those big prize purses also, this is, at least on the men's side, one of the more competitive fields that you're going to find.
Yeah, like last year, there were like many high-level athletes, but it was like top 10 was like crazy, and outside of that, it wasn't like that crazy. But this year, I think the top 30 is going to be like crazy names. Like if you're like CrossFit fan, you know every one of those, like.
Yeah, that's I had a list of 30.
And girls side the same. Like girls side the same. It's over there the same. Like like games athletes, team games athletes. Like it's cool.
Yeah, and I think also something that is just going to happen throughout the year. There's and this is just the reality, I think, for athletes and for competitions, is as competitions get closer, the rosters are going to shift a little bit. I made original picks like a week ago or something like that. And, 6 people have dropped out that were in my top 30 men or women since then. And 4 others have added into the competition that I didn't have on there, but moved in. So that's just kind of how it's going to be. But at the end of the day, whoever shows up, shows up. And, I want to.
The registration as well, in the beginning when we started like registering for the competition, you could see like everybody was signed up, but after I think 2 weeks they closed it, so it was like unknown. You saw some names in the beginning, but like until last week I had no idea it was actually coming. Only by the friendships, maybe somebody who knows somebody who's going, but yeah, right now it's pretty tight.
Another crazy thing about this competition is the workouts have been announced for 9 or 10 months before the competition even begins.
Yeah, I saw the workouts, and to be honest, like I did World Fitness Project. I did one competition in like the Asian Championships as well, but like from the beginning, I was already training for the Crucible right now. Like because when you know the workout so early, you can already like adjust your programming for it.
Yeah, well, I will definitely have to do this again once we get there and on the broadcast. But the competition's 2 days. Miko, the first day has 10 rep max deadlift, 3 minutes of dips on parallel bars with a weighted plate, and a 1K shuttle run. I saw that. That's an impressive use of your space there that you did to practice the shuttle run, by the way.
Yeah. The shuttle runs, it's gonna be hard because it's gonna be on the AstroTurf. You don't get any like rebounding there, and it's gonna be more slippery. So it's the paces, like time-wise, I think are not gonna be like, whoa, look at that time. But it's gonna be like it's gonna be hard for everybody. You're gonna feel those legs tomorrow. If you wanna go at a good time, those legs are gonna be like dead the next day.
And you mentioned that there's, there are no mixed modality tests, but obviously in that 1 day of testing, 3 very different things to test.
Yeah, but it's gonna go like down so quickly. Like I think you don't feel it in the moment, but you feel it a bit in the next day. So you're not gonna be like beaten up like you would be on a regular like CrossFit competition for the next day or after 2 days. But over there, it's gonna be like you're gonna start doing everything kind of fresh. So that's like cool. You can see what the like actual abilities of like what people can actually do.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think all 3 of those things happen back to back to back. So you have one start time on the first day.
But what's the really cool thing, like why you should watch it as well, is like you have 1 minute and 30 to do your 10 deadlifts, but you have only 1 attempt. If you choose your weight like wrong and you put too much weight on, you fail, you're out. Like it's easy. Like last year it was the same. We had like a 7 rep max front squat. This year we had the same. But it's like if you put 5 kilos or 2 kilos too many and you fail your last rep, what's gonna happen? Like, bye. It's a game with nerves as well,
Yeah, there's definitely strategy, knowing your body, feeling into like you probably have a range, I would guess. Like you kind of know on any day I could do this. On my best day I could do this. And on the game day, I'm gonna make a decision in between there based on how I feel.
Yeah, that's true. Like I think most of the like athletes who come as well to compete for the highest spots have like tested them out for sure. Like what's gonna be a 10 rep max? Maybe I can do 8 reps with one like weight, but it's gonna be. But I love it. It's not a 1 rep max. Otherwise, you pull your back. 10 rep max, you don't get injury. Like that's why it's good. Like when you see those powerlifting competition, there is 1 rep max like back squat. You always think, are their knees gonna pop or no? But if you have a 7 rep max, like nothing's gonna happen. You either fail, but you don't get hurt. Like the lows are gonna be a bit less.
And then if you advance to the second day, or all the athletes that do advance to the second day, which is a top 40, they get a nice little swim in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna guess that you were bummed out to miss the swim at WFP finals, but you get to do this one.
Yeah. Me and Jonne and a few other guys are gonna have a good battle. But same thing, like the points wise, like even if you get 1 point more in the swimming, you win swimming. then there's gonna be 700 max front squat you have to be able to do. So maybe there is no point to push the swim too much to be tired later for pull-ups. Maybe to swim at 90%, it's everybody's game. What are you gonna push more? What are you gonna push less? Yeah.
Yeah, and of course it's there'll be there's heats for these things. So you may, depending on how you do on the day one, you may get to go last or have to go before one of those guys on the
yeah, and see how much should you push? Can I swim backstroke, or I have to go full send freestyle until I'm out of breath? Yeah.
And maybe something like IF3s will happen where you end up with a tie.
yeah. But then it's I hope that's not gonna happen, because there is so many athletes, and everybody is high level. It's not one guy is 3 guys are high level, but everybody's similar as well, weight wise.
I'm gonna show you the pics in a second, but first let's continue through the workouts here. So you swim in the morning, and then I think there's 4 more things that happen, but those happen back to back to back to back or something right? Is that right?
I think this, I don't know exactly, because there hasn't been any info, but I think you swim. Then
there's
some time off, and then it's gonna be a 7-rep max front squat into that.
So the swim, it's at a different location, I believe.
Yeah.
The swim is 0 to 15 minutes, and it obviously your time is your score, and then you head to the actual location of the venue, and then you start off with the 7-rep front squat, which is you only have a minute and a half.
You have 1 attempt.
You have 1 attempt at a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You get 1 attempt. You have a minute and a half to get a 7-rep front squat, and then you at the 5 minute, you'll have some time off. At the 5 minute mark, you'll have strict weighted pull-ups.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And the crazy thing in Crucible with the strict pull-ups is they have super good standards. Last year as well, you have to be super straight when your legs move a tiny bit in front of the bar. It's a no rep. It's really good that everybody's equal. It's not I can do a small keep and play the game of keeping. It's pure strength. You have it. You have trained for it or no. That's why I love last year. Even the big names, nobody was given exceptions. That's what made this competition really, really cool. Is even if you have super high level games athlete next to you, they're not gonna get anything for it. The judges are super strict with everybody. That's
they've
good.
been doing rounds of judging training, 4 mandatory trainings. I had a friend.
I tried to watch those videos to see what are they giving no reps and what not, those Instagram clips.
Well, I have a friend who was wanting to come to judge at this competition and sent in a request, but the request came in after the first training, and so the competition responded and said, no, all of our judges are required to be at these 4 trainings, and if you miss one of them, then you're not eligible to judge at the finals. So they're taking it to a little bit different level than we've seen before.
I think the highest level of judging I've seen before. Yeah.
So you got the strict weighted pull-ups. You have 3 minutes. So I mean, if you can hold on for 3 minutes, and
nobody's
there you can do singles as well. Just
singles. Gotcha.
Yeah, but you have to start from dead stop and finish as well in a dead stop.
Gotcha.
You can't go rebounding, bouncing from your shoulders or whatever. But the bars last year as well, they were quite high, so you actually had to jump up as to a dead stop. You couldn't go into the pull up, and then there is gonna be this 20-minute bike hammer. Yeah.
And that'll start so you have 2 minute break between the pull-ups. You'll have a 2 minute break, and then you have 20 minutes on the biker. So at the 10 minute mark, you'll get on the biker and you're gonna bike for watts. Average watts is a score for 20 minutes.
Do you know who love this workout the most? The people who hate warm-up, because there you can't warm up for the bike. You just go there and start pedaling as hard as you can for 20 minutes. No warm-up, baby.
I mean, that 20-minute watt test, we saw it in Dubai, and what Patrick's going to tell us what happens afterwards. But I mean, if you watch that, you saw there were people in a great amount of pain on the ground when that thing ended. But you don't have too much time to think after this one.
Yeah. I think you have 15, am I right? I think 15 minutes or 10 minutes to find your 5-rep max.
15 minutes. So as soon as you get off the bike, you go right into your 5-rep max shoulder press. But you have 15 minutes, so you can use that time. You can use that. I mean, you can use that time to kind of rest up if you need to. But it's a 5-rep max shoulder press. Total load will be your score for that, and that's what ends it. And you have 15 minutes to do that.
And for example, like the strict press standards, when we see like videos on online people doing strict press, they go like a bit back and push the bar up, but there you have to be like super straight. Like you can't push yourself back, you can't go to the front, you have to just go up, down, you know, full lockout, and you can't bounce. You have to do a dead stop below the chin. So it's like, it's way harder. If you see somebody doing strict press 5 reps for 70 kilos, you're like, oh, like, what is this score? But like there, it's like, you know, 90 kilos for 70. It's like, yeah, it's hard.
So that's and that's the flow of the competition. The other thing I like about this is even if you're if you win it, you have one window to work out on Saturday, swim Sunday morning, one window to work out Sunday afternoon, and that's it.
And I think it's fun to watch as well, you know, because the tension gets real. Like, you know, when you watch some people do, like, and if you're rooting for somebody, you're like, whoa, like, and you have to do the math in your head, you know, like they won this, they have like 10th place in this, you know, it's like.
Yeah. Well, they have, you basically have a qualifier event on Saturday, and then you have a final on Sunday. It's like, this is like, if you're a huge fan of competitive race car driving, you can watch as much of the qualifiers as you want, but not everyone watches that. But when the final comes on Sunday, like the top guys are all going to be in that heat for 45 minutes and they already have 4 scores. Then they have 4 more scores in 45 minutes. Like that's a format people can actually watch.
Do you have any info on that? Are the scores from day one going to carry over? I know the running is, but
I believe so, but I want to let the competition communicate that to you guys and to us when we get there, and then we'll make sure that we communicate it in the exact correct way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I would hope so, because you want to reward the people that move on. Like I said, this is almost like a
no. It definitely carries over.
Yeah.
It
would have to.
I think there's a little bit of a nuance, but of how it changes from day one.
There was this thing that in from day one, the run is gonna be the most important thing. The 1 kilometer of shuttle running is gonna have it's gonna have double points carried over to the next day. But even I don't know what it exactly means, but like it's gonna be fun.
So Miko, are you ready to see my picks?
Well, I'm on my phone, so I hope to see them from the screen. But
I can pull them up. Give me a second here. Let me pull them up.
And like we said, this is first of all, I'll say not the easiest competition to project, because like Miko said, the standards are kind of different for some of these movements. There's a very high premium on execution, and if you screw that up, it can be very costly. And it's obviously, we're used to seeing a lot of these athletes do mixed modal tests, and we know how good they are at those. But in a competition that is strictly about single modality work over and over again, I think there's a lot of variability here. But let's take a look. What do you got, Patrick? I haven't even seen this yet.
Oh.
Can you see that, Miko?
Yeah.
So the predictions are, starting with the men, Roman, Chandler, Yona, Miko, and Yella in your top 5.
Well, read out the rest of them.
No, I actually agree. Top 5 can be this way. Maybe just another order, but.
And by the way, I think this is a first. I think this might be one of the first time where we've had an actual athlete that's competed and showed them our predictions. So,
but it's good because it's
Yeah, and in 6th, Luca Kalian in 7th, Artur Semenov in 8th, Adrian Mundi coming back, looks like, in 9th, and Michael Smith also making his return at 10th. So that's the top 10.
And we do have more guys than this that we'll show you, because this field is very deep. But I want to, Miko.
But like looking at, I think the top, everybody there can mix it up. I mean, Kalian is really strong.
I mean, you have 9 games athletes in the top 10.
Yeah.
Who's the one
and the returning champion?
Yeah.
that's I mean, I look at this field and I'm just like,
I already want to do the post competition show, like to take another look. And I think it's it's quite well made. Because if these are the athletes, like when I saw the heats coming out like that, I'm like putting my thought behind what they can do as well. Like
Well,
trying to project. Yeah.
There's a couple things that I think are important about this list. And like, first of all, I picked Roman to win just because his credentials are what they are. And he's clearly the favorite on paper. He's making a trip over there in a year where he's probably got a ton of other competitions to do. He's already left the States. So he's going to, but he is traveling from the US. Most of these guys live in Europe, are in the UAE already, and or have been preparing for this competition, especially when you think about guys that don't compete a ton, like Adrian Moonweiler and Michael Smith. They could have potentially had 8-9 months just to be getting ready for this.
That's a lot as well. When I saw like my competitors compete at the World Fitness Project, I was thinking in my head, like I'm doing work for the next competition, but you are still recovering from the other one. Like that was my thought process in my head. Like how to boost the confidence. But yeah, I think it's a good top 10 overall.
I mean, Miko. I think fourth is. You have an advantage. I think you're dealing with 9 games athletes just here in the top 10. We'll look. There's more in the.
Next
more in the
year
next one. But you have the advantage because you and Tola are within his top 15 that have the experience. You know what it takes. Like prepare. The quick turnarounds. And preparing your body for that. Most of these top athletes, they do know that, but maybe not in that short time frame. And these tests are very, very unusual in terms of it's not CrossFit. They're strict muscle strength fitness. It's
it's hard.
I think
it's different.
You do have the advantage going into this, and I think on paper, like Brian says, you have to kind of go with those 3 guys. But I see you having a really good chance compared to, because of your knowledge, your experience being someone that can easily defend this title.
But I think, it's gonna be a mix of these 10. Like, I told in secret to Brian before the show, like there is one more dude who might spice things up from Estonia, but
well, tell it, Bogdan. I can't say his last name, but dude, look at these next 10 guys.
Same thing, all very well-known names. And I think it's gonna go down like who feels the best on the game day as well. Because like Reggie Fasa right now is on the 16th and Bruno Marins, but I think as well, like they can be top 10 for sure. Like because Reggie last year was really good. He only, I don't know, strict press was, I think, bad for him, if I remember correctly. But I think like overall, he can be like fighting for top 5 as well.
What I'm really interested in is you have these athletes that haven't competed in a long time, and I think the reason why is because it's not CrossFit. Like these athletes, like the Phil Heskeths, the Adrian Munweilers, the Michael Smith, they're probably doing more bodybuilding at their stage in their life. So bodybuilding.
Like they see as well, like it's not gonna hurt so much as a regular CrossFit competition.
They're not training for CrossFit. They're just they're doing some cardio. They're doing stuff like that. They're just not doing like a CrossFit like double a double or a triplet or anything like that. So this actually, it's really cool. I think it gives those athletes you haven't seen in a while an ability to go back out on the competition floor, make a little bit of money. A lot of money for someone like Michael Smith, if he finishes top 10, that's probably more money than he's ever made in his career combined as a games athlete. So I just think it's just a really cool format, and it's just really neat to see these names. And in its 3rd year, I can only imagine if they have a 4th year, what this list of athletes looks like next year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Miko, we just wanted to get a little bit of an athlete's perspective. You're the defending champion for this. I know it's late over there in Estonia. Bedtime. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few days. So I'll start making my way over there later today. But any final thought before we let you go?
It's gonna be really tough and really interesting competition as well. to like keep your eyes on, and I think the best will win. So yeah, like I'm super happy for like it's gonna. I told you this as well. Like I have a love and hate relationship with this competition because it's like the tensions are high and the feel is tough, but I love the competition. So it's gonna be like it's gonna be a good battle between everybody.
I completely
Yeah.
agree. And even just seeing, even though I made the picks, now just seeing them on the post, it's getting me excited again. So, thank you,
All
my
right.
friend.
Yeah.
See you in a
Thanks
few
for
days.
having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
See
care.
you.
Miko. Good luck.
Ciao. Ciao.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's like I can't recall a time where we've like unveiled our picks with an actual athlete, especially the champion. So I felt kind of awkward. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. I was going to be like, hey, should we just wait till Miko goes off before we post them or talk about them? But
I didn't
but
know.
Miko knows his capability, and you got to look at that list. And I mean, he knows obviously Yona very well, and I think he would say like, yeah, Yona's more fit than I am. But this again, like I said, this isn't a test. It is a fitness test, but not a fitness test that those other athletes are probably used to doing. But Miko does have an advantage in that aspect.
Well, let's pull it a bit up again because obviously there's a ton of talent here.
A deep dive.
Yeah, go back to the top 10 first. I mean, you kind of said it, like, the credentials of those top 3 guys and just thinking about their general skill sets, they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler probably take a hit on the swim. I think he's going to be pretty good at everything else.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's going to be too big of a hit either. I mean, if you look at like the amount, I mean, yeah, he's going to take a hit against Roman and Yona, but and Yella, but I think
Miko, but he can finish in the mix with some of the other guys we see.
I think he's top 15 in that swim because he does swim and he does have the ability to do it.
Yona probably will take a hit on the running workout. It's always kind of been a weakness for him, but he's going to more than make that up on the swim and probably also the bike, where I'm actually pretty curious to see how him and Adrian do on that 20-minute watt bike test, because obviously they're smaller physically compared to some of the bigger guys. And when we saw this happen in Dubai 2 Decembers ago, obviously the big guys, Benoit Boulanger type guys with big, strong quads and legs brought it home. But they're trained for biking and they train to bike, a lot, and they can still convert that to power output. And I think that advantage for those 2 guys is going to play because they also have the range of motion that's helpful on a majority on the strength tests. When it comes to the front squat, the dip, the pull up, and the strict press, short levers is an advantage. Obviously, when it comes to running, swimming, biking, and deadlift, long levers is an advantage. So it's a pretty good mix there. But I think that Yona and Adrian have this little ace up their sleeve because of their biking background.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, they're probably more used to volume as opposed to output, but power output. But I think those 2, especially someone like Adrian, who's been doing it for a while, I think they can easily convert that into power. It's 20 minutes. And I think, especially on the bike erg, because the bike erg is so similar to, it's more similar to biking than anything else out there that's in the CrossFit space. I think they're going to do really well on that. I think they're going to do really well on that. I think someone like Yellow's a decent, obviously I think he actually bikes a lot too. So I think he's going to do really well as well. But,
and I just want to say, I gave Michael Smith a lot of credit here.
You did. You did. I was waiting for you to. Oh, I was going to say something. I'm like, you haven't seen Michael since what, 2020?
This is what I know about Michael Smith. The last 5 times he showed up to a competition, I have drastically underestimated him.
Okay.
He's very experienced. He's very savvy. He knows how to prep for a comp. I think that if he's signing up for this and showing up, that he's showing up ready to compete and probably has been putting in multiple cycles of training to get ready for this competition. And I think this competition, you can do that even if you're doing other things. Like if if he has another job or he's coaching full time, that he could still be intentional about preparing for this in a way that's going to allow him to perform better than you would expect. So that's why I'm going a little bit in on Michael Smith.
How do you know that he just might? How do you know he just happened to just have a trip planned during that time? You know,
that's my gamble. I'm just
that's a gamble.
You know,
well,
like I said last week with Johnny and Charles, I like to make one pick.
Yeah,
Johnny did good job.
Yeah, you're right. We'll preview the TFX here at the end. But Michael Smith competed at the 2019 games. He was Ireland's champion. That was your national champion. So he went, but he did really well. Finished 26th at the games that year. So he
within one spot of Fikowski, I think.
Yep. And then he has competed recently. He competed at the Europe semifinal 2024, finished 17th. And then he has been doing the Open. 2025 Open, he finished 283rd worldwide.
Not that bad.
Yeah, 2023, he was 55th worldwide. So I think that's his best finish ever in Open. Yeah, it was 2023, 55th. Yeah, so, obviously he's still fit. 2024 quarterfinals, finished 49th in the world, 24th in Europe. So
probably could have been easier for me to put Ben Fowler, Reggie Fawcett, Tola Maracanio, 8, 9, 10 instead of these guys.
Sure.
But, taking a little gamble. I felt pretty solid in the top 7. I have no idea the order of those guys. Yeah. But I feel like if they all show up healthy and ready to go, that those guys are going to be pretty tough to unseat from the top spots.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like starting with Artur and going down almost to 17th probably, it's pretty wide open.
Why Artur's? I mean, we haven't seen him in like 2 or 3 years. I mean, I guess Far East 2 years ago, but we haven't seen much of him in terms of competition since then. Why him at 8?
Sneaky suspicion, maybe friends in
gotcha.
Friends in Russia.
Gotcha.
But I mean, look, the reality is the Russian athletes have been showing up to compete more and more frequently. Mm-hmm. They're continuously beating people that you wouldn't expect them to beat. Artur, to me, has always had some really big strengths that I think he's going to have a chance to show here. I'm really not sure about his swimming, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But
he is a bigger guy. He is a taller. I mean, he kind of has that yellow Brent Fikowski build, tall, lean. So he'll do well. Like I think on the deadlifts, the shuttle runs, I don't know what
the things I'm concerned for him are the swim and the pull-ups.
Yeah.
I feel good about the rest of it for him. I feel he's a good upper body presser. Squat will be okay. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah. This was, like I said, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. Those are my kind of let's see picks.
Yeah. I do I am looking forward to see Adrian out there. I mean, last time we've seen Adrian was probably Lowlands, was it? Like in actual action, at least that, and he just missed out a game spot. And I think one of the conversations I had with him then, it was like he just wasn't sure if he wanted to compete anymore. And, obviously he's the guy's still fit. I mean, you look at him, I mean, that build he has is amazing. And, he obviously works out and does a lot of working out. So I don't know. I would love to see him back competing more regularly. So maybe something like this will get his, depending on.
I mean, it's maybe we don't talk about it that often. We make more allusion or reference to it, but there's so many different opportunities to compete in fitness and to express those things now. I mean, how many freaking athletes that we know were at High Rocks in Phoenix this last weekend, and now we have this many other athletes that are going to do something that's totally different. Neither one would be classified as CrossFit. In my opinion, both are derivatives of the CrossFit movement at the sport level. And I just think it's awesome. And then, I hope to me, it's
and don't forget Chandler and Jesse just did one High Rocks this weekend in Amsterdam too. So,
yeah,
I think they're used to that now. I mean, it seems like every weekend they're doing something,
which the thing is like we said, High Rocks, you can go do that, put in a great effort. It doesn't cripple you.
Exactly.
This competition is the same. You get to compete for 40 minutes, and then you have the whole day to recover. You do an 8-minute swim or something, 9-minute, 10-minute, whatever. So you recover, and then you have 45 minutes of effort, and you're done. It's digestible for fans, and it's doable for the athletes.
Yeah, day one, it looks like it's going to be 15 minutes because I think between the weighted dips, there might be a 2-minute. I'm guesstimating maybe a 2-minute break before they start the shuttle run. If not, then it's only 13 minutes and there's no rest. You're going straight into it.
No, yeah, there's a transition between each station for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, I think there might be for that one.
But
We'll
when you
see.
take like I said, there's one start time. You go out there, you
Mhm.
do your deadlift, you get a
Yep.
little reset, move to the other spot, you do your dips, reset, move
Yep.
to the other spot, you do your shuttle run, you're done. And you
Mhm.
just sit and wait and see how your scores shake out and get ready for the next day if you're good enough.
Yeah. It could be also the reason why they have that little transition time is because of personnel and setup. So, but either way,
Well,
you're talking.
also because of the way they have their broadcast set up,
Yeah.
there's pretty stacked group of people coming to commentate, and they have a lot of cool
Mhm.
little stuff planned for coverage. So
Yeah.
it should be pretty entertaining. I think I'm actually excited to see how the broadcast plays out based on the meetings we've had. But I think it could be a little bit of a game changer potentially.
Could be. I mean, money is one reason why it could be a game changer too.
Let's look at the 11 through 20 on the men
Mhm.
again here. I mean, obviously we just saw Ben Fowler at Storm Games. I think he was more prepping for that than this. I just kind of
Yeah.
threw him in the mix here. Obviously, want to respect the fitness, but I think he's one of the guys that the mixed modal is going to be better than this isolated structure for him. So let's see. Sven Jeans, not that dissimilar to Michael Smith. Like,
Mhm.
guy's got a lot of competition experience. When he shows up, he competes really well. Big, strong dude from Belgium. Victor Helsinghoff, we've seen compete a ton. Tola, Elliot Simmons, late entry to this field. Very curious to see how he does. I think that outside of the 3 strength tests, he could do very well on the other 5 things.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, the
that
shuttle run. I think the shuttle run he'll do really well in.
I feel
He's
like the dips and the
decent
pull-ups,
swimmer. Yeah. Because I believe those pull-ups are. I think it's 10 kg for the men.
Yeah, I think so. And then Reggie Fossa and Bruno Marins are the 2 guys from this list that jumped out to Miko. And I would say like that's kind of where I had another sort of line drawn. I said like 7 to 17. I saw a lot of potential variability there. And of course, one of these guys could surprise and jump up even higher. Dino Smaj has been training really aggressively out of Bosnia. Very strong Olympic lifter. Going to see how the powerlifting goes and some of the cardio work he's been putting in. Phil Hesketh, another veteran that's making a return to competition. I mean, Phil's a beast. I have no idea what to expect from him. I have no clue. Like, Phil, you could definitely do better than this. Could do worse. Not really sure. And then Mason, our friend from Iran who lives there in the Middle East, in UAE, excuse me, rounding out the top 20. Very strong field.
Yeah. Again, I'm interested to see what Phil does. I mean, Phil's an OG. I think they have 2 kids now.
I think
he might have
right.
He might have that double dad strength now going. So
yeah, other people that are in this field for the international audience out there: Alexander Blosik out of Poland, Lago Giraldez is on the roster from Argentina, Badr El Nouri representing the UAE, and Craig Ritchie out of the UK. Yep. I'm going to throw down. Didn't I have these guys in the top 20? Understandably, I would say.
I'm picking Craig up, dude. I know you have. I think on your list you gave me, I think you had him like 26 or 27. I actually think he's, dude. If you see what Craig's workout routine is now, I mean, he does a lot of bike. I mean, the erg should be no problem. He's been doing bodybuilding. I think he's going to crush it and everything. Probably, I don't know about the swim or the shuttle run, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Craig Ritchie maybe in the top 15.
And then what Miko was telling us is that there's one sleeper guy from Estonia, Bogdan Jasovits.
Mm-hmm.
He's got triathlon background, and we're going to talk about another athlete with a triathlon background on the women's side. And he also said he's got a huge deadlift. So, I mean, just immediately, that's 4 good scores, if that's true. Yeah. So, but of course, there's like 70 or 80 guys in the field, so there's always a chance that there's some people that jump out. But when I'm picking 20, I'm going to pick 20 guys that I know. Guys that have competed at a high level, and we have at least 20 of those, and probably more like 30 of those in this field.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And like you said, it's been kind of fluctuates too. So we don't know 100% if the people that you've picked here in the top 20 are actually going to be there or not. So, but based on today, this is the top 20.
Let's take a look at the ladies. We have definitely had a few of the women that dropped out late, but still a pretty stacked field. And the defending champion is coming back. I put her at the top. I don't know. I think Syria May is going to give her a pretty big battle. But Jamie Simmons, man, in the UAE, how do you pick against her?
I mean, it's not like she's won everything in the UAE.
Pretty close though.
It's pretty close. I mean, that's something we need to look over the last 2 years, or when the last time she's lost like a competition in the UAE.
No, it was
However,
it was Dubai to Karen Fraser.
Dubai in 2020 when Karen won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she what she finished? Well, actually, she didn't even finish on the podium.
She did
that year, I think.
Yeah,
right?
she did. No, it was
She
her,
did?
Matilda, and Karen.
Okay, all right, but
So that was 24, Dubai 24, December of 24.
that's right. Okay, the year prior, I don't think she competed the year prior, did she?
No, but she was on
Karen Andrea.
She went podium, won Storm Games, won Crucible. There was no DFC this year. Win Storm Games, and let's see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's hard to pick against her, but this is it's a weird test. Syria definitely did great last year. She has some confidence. She's under a new training program. She's working at Yami, the training plan. So I'll be interested to see. She's one of these athletes. I think she's really going to do good in the dips, the pull-ups, those type of things, because I think those are like not odd, but I mean, you don't see many people do weighted dips in the gym. Syria does do a lot of stuff like that. She does like anything that she perceives as a weakness, she works on a lot. And
we'll go through the rest of the list, but looking there, do you see Syria and Jamie as the kind of favorites, and everyone else is maybe not? Like, they'd have to surprise you to challenge one of them.
Just 1 second here. Yeah, because even though there's some women on your second 10 that I'm really interested about, but I don't think they wouldn't be competing for that top prize. And I mean, like, even Jessie, we know how fit Jessie is, but I don't know how strong Jessie is.
Right.
I know she's been lifting a lot. Is she stronger than Jamie? I think her and Jamie, which are, it's funny because they were teammates at WFP, they're very comparable in strength. Jessie might have the edge. Actually, Jessie does. Well, I know on the snatch that Jessie has the edge on her in that. We're not testing that. I know Jessie's really good at pull-ups. Really good at pull-ups.
I feel like Jamie is too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jamie is one of the best. So I mean, they're very comparable, but obviously you have to give Jamie the advantage on that. And then Syria, I think it's just
this field is very intriguing, but for some different ways than the men's field. Like the men's field, there's a stacked list of credentials. Here, there's women that have, like, they're very fit. They have a lot of diverse experiences in their background. We'll get to some of these others.
Yeah.
But you think about, like,
you brought up the men. Like the men, you can look at them and be like, yeah, these are the type of guys that should be competing at this type. I mean, these are guys who are all really good at each one of these modalities, if you want to call it that. And then you come to women's field, and it's like, you look at the women's field, there are some athletes like that, but then you have some athletes who are like, they're just good CrossFitters. And I don't know, being a good CrossFitter actually translate into being doing really well in this. And I know Jessie and Jamie are really good CrossFitters, but they're also very good at like body weight movements as well. So, and same with Syria.
Yeah, but a lot of the top athletes filter towards the top at the end anyway. Last year's podium for the men was Miko Lilleorg, Reggie Fassa, and Tola Maracanyo. And for the women was Jamie Syria and Riza Blinova, who's on this list as well. Yeah. Second page. But the field wasn't nearly as deep,
Yeah, definitely not.
There's this situation where, depending on how you do, if you're on your bad workout, where the field you're competing against makes a difference. And I'm starting to hone into this narrative more and more on these analyses, is like, take two athletes that are quite different, which we have, for example, Astrid Tind here, who's 5'11". She's going to be absolutely smashing stuff like the shuttle run and the bike. But she might get crushed on the dips and the pull-ups. I'm not sure. Yeah. You go to Dana Pran, totally different athlete, totally different body type. I honestly don't know who it's going to be better for against the field, because let's just say that they're going to take a top 3 on their 2 best things. Where is Astrid's weakness going to be exposed? I don't think the field's that strong, and she's pretty good.
Yeah,
So she might not
I
take as
agree.
big a hit. Whereas I think that there might be some more runners and bikers that would push Dana down a little further. So I'm favoring the endurance athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think when it comes to Jessie, I think Jessie's closer to Astrid than she is to Syria and Jamie.
Which is kind of what I was thinking here.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I mean, I can easily see Astrid being the third and Jessie in fourth as well. I mean, I think Astrid she's
I mean,
really
let's
good
keep
at
in mind
biking.
she hit like man, I'm blanking on the numbers. I feel like she snatched 92 kilos and clean and jerked 111 or something
Mhm.
the week before WFP finals. Like
Yeah.
she's 5'11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's got some strength there. Ida Konkkinen.
Yeah, I don't know much about her. So.
I didn't know much about her either. She's the equivalent of this guy Bogdan that Miko's telling us about with a triathlete background. She was at Turco Tumiopaiva last year. She won the bike, the swim, and the run.
Okay.
She's also getting stronger. The gymnastics was an issue.
Sure.
Well, there's hardly any gymnastics here.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of a wild card pick for me, meaning that her credentials don't match with the rest of them on the screen in CrossFit.
Yeah.
But in triathlon, they do. And she can possibly leverage, I mean, some of that here into a maybe sneaky good finish. So Ida Konkkinen, one to watch. Kika Vasic, she's the equivalent of Michael Smith, dude. She always shows up and always does well. And she's older and she's been around. She's so I never count her out. She goes toe to toe with Syria in most competitions. Usually comes up a little bit short these days, but a year ago or 2 years ago, she was beating her by a little bit. So pretty good. Emily DeRoy.
She'll probably win the swim event.
Yeah, has she been in the UAE for a few weeks already?
I think so, because I mean that's her coach is she is QHP. Yeah, she's that's her training program, just like how Fowler's there. I think they just came there. Well, Fowler lives there. I don't think Emily's moved there, but I know she's probably, it's an easy trip, an easy way to kind of, you got a support system. You could stay there, really not spend too much money because you're making money. And this will be a big payday for Emily. I mean, if she finishes at 7th, like you have her at, I think that is, hold on. Oh, that's fitness experience. I think 7th pays out $8,000. So,
which is that's for a 7th place finish. That's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dana Pran, we talked about, obviously great strength background. Any additional stuff on Dana? I know you know her quite well.
She's been dealing with she's been dealing with some injuries here and there, but I think if she, I don't know, I haven't talked to her recently, well, at least not about like fitness and stuff, but if she does, I don't know if she makes the trip or not. Hopefully she does. I know that she is interested in getting back out and competing, and I think this will be a good one for her to kind of start out with that. So, if she shows up, I mean, I think obviously she'd do really well in the shoulder press and the deadlift and the front squat. Does really good at squatting. She might surprise some people in the Concept 2 biker. I mean, she is a Krieger athlete, and one reason why she decided to do Krieger is because she wanted to be an all-around better CrossFitter, and Krieger right now, it seems like that's what they produce. They, if you want to be good at CrossFit, that's it. So I think that might translate a little bit of that into the more of the biker than I would say the shuttle run. She's not a good runner. Self-admittedly, she's not a very good runner. And then I don't know much about the swimming, but I guess we'll find out.
Kamila Takeva, another athlete that often exceeds expectations at these types of competitions. I couldn't leave her out of the top 10 here. And man, I mean, I could see scenarios where she does even better than this. And Taylor Howe and Reggie Foss are, I would say, obviously similar athletes, partners, but I don't really know what to do with them. They don't train, they don't compete that much anymore. I could see them both doing better than I expected, but it's kind of like I need to see it to believe it, because I don't see you guys compete very often.
Taylor's been a little bit more active than Reggie. I think I haven't seen Reggie do anything since Crucible last year. I don't know. I'm sure he's done some local comps, but Taylor has done some things since then. I think most recently she's done a couple competitions there in the UK.
Well, this is the thing about, Reggie won the bike erg last year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the men in the field this year. There's no chance he's winning that.
No, there's none at all. I mean, it'd be a hell of a. I mean, if he did win, great on him. That's awesome. But that means he's probably gonna. Yeah, that'd be amazing if he could.
So,
but yeah, it'd be hard pressed. I mean, that's some bragging rights there. You know how we talk about the Echo Bike King. If Reggie wins that, he can call himself the Biker King.
Well, he's going to have some tough sledding to get through some of those guys. But like we said, you don't have to be the biggest guy to do well on the bike. Now he's got two other guys that are relatively similar size to him, and Yona and Adrian, that even if he beats those two guys, not to mention the guys that are over 6 feet tall and over 215 pounds that are coming through this thing.
Yeah, the
that are also top 25 athletes in the world or better. It's like, man. Anyway, so let's look at the last 10 women here. Riza Blinova got third place here last year. I probably should have had her much higher on this list. That's an oversight by me. But if you look at the rest of the field there, the next women were Julia Kato, Katie Healy, Evie Hollis, Milana Jaksic. The strength of field here is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably should have had her closer to like 10th. But I still just think that this field is completely different than the one that she took third against last year.
Oh, 100%.
And Evie Hollis is in the lineup, and I don't even have her in the top 20 here. And she was sixth, so it's not like she's Raisa is the only athlete from last year that I'm dropping down based on the strength of this field.
And there's again, like I said,
there's Evie. She's 13th. Yeah. I was I didn't see the red.
Yeah, I put her in red because of the picture. I should have used a different color. But when kind of like what I brought with Miko, his experience with this format, it might pay. It might be advantageous for those ladies, for someone like Evie, for Reza. So maybe that does help them out. So I can definitely see those two definitely fighting for the top 10. I think where you have Evie at 13th is probably about where I think she might finish, but I also think she could finish as high as 8th or 9th. So
I should have moved Raisa up. But anyway, Gemma Rader, Iris Rosenloff is a former team athlete out of Finland. I think she might be living in the UAE though. Mm-hmm. And I think some of her skill sets transfer to this style of competition. Mia Hesketh, no idea.
I'm a big Mia and Phil fan. Like I'm a big Mia fan. It's like whenever it's whenever you get to see her compete, especially if there's something like the test of strength. It's like I low key think that she is not given the proper her flowers for what she does and what she has been doing. And
if no one else gives you flowers in this day and age, you can buy them for yourself.
Exactly, but Mia. It's just like anytime you can see her on a competition floor, she's just a joy. Her and Phil, such a joy to talk to and talk with. And, I imagine they just turned this into a family trip. I know they have a good relationship with Jamie and Elliot. So this could have been like a family vacation they planned all together. Like while we're there, we'll have so-and-so watch the kids and we're going to go compete. And but it'll be really fun. I'm kind of like, I'm very interested where Mia does on the front squat because she is one of the better squatters. So I think her and Dana might have maybe outside of some of the girls I don't know here, they might have some of the best, probably the best weight or the score to beat in the 7-rep front squat.
Well, it was Syria May had 105 last year,
and
Evie was 92.5.
Yeah, so I think, Dana and Mia can do more than that. But I also think Syria is stronger than she was last year too.
Verena Reimers, friend of ours out of Germany, Victoria Campos representing Brazil, Julia Blazowska from Poland. She actually just took second place this last weekend in February challenge, and I think teams of 2.
I was just about to say, Julia someone's name that we're going to see. This is the start of where we'll see her name, and you're like, oh no, she already competed. So she already has one competition in her belt. I mean, this is a girl who loves to compete. Is typically in the this is probably be one of the harder fields outside of semifinals that she'll be competing live against, but she's usually in the top 10, top 5, top 8 of some of these other especially European competitions.
Yeah. Natalia Bibarica, if she shows up, she's from Croatia, probably still the best one there, at least that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raisa and Elena Rudakova round out the top 20. So, little different feel, I would say, overall than the men's field, but still tons of talent, tons of international representation, and some that aren't on the top 10 there that were in it, or 20 that were in the top 20 last year. Katie Healy, Jess Towle. We also have Dima Zebdaya coming over from Jordan, Yada Henderson down from the Netherlands. So interesting field for sure.
I want to go. I mean, it's very interesting, and I know this is something that we've had on our radar for a while. And you're actually going there for the first time to do the play-by-play for the broadcast,
color commentary
for the broadcast.
Do the play-by-play.
Oh yeah, I forgot Jeremy. Yeah, we'll talk about the team they've invested a lot of their resources and money into this year, the third year. And we're just not talking a prize purse by bringing in people like yourself, Jeremy, Austin. Lauren was there last year, but then providing a live feed for all of this, which like you said, I'm very interested to see what they do, because it doesn't have the flow of a CrossFit event. This will be a lot of it stationary. I don't know how they'll do lanes, stuff like that. I mean, I'm really interested to see what the setup is like for that. But the prize money itself, again, first place, $50K. For, you're basically essentially doing an hour worth of work across 2 days total. That's crazy. And then second is 40, third 30, 20. I mean, for some of these athletes, these will be the biggest paydays they ever get. And I mean, you get to 11th, from 11th to 15th is 4K. 16th to 20th is 3K, and then it's 2K all the way down to 30th from there. And like I was saying before, hell, you finish 30th, that 2K that's more than what you'll get finishing, second at any of the CrossFit semifinals. So, who knows if this is as popular as it is, and you get more athletes and more interested in it next year, I could see the prize purses going even higher.
Yeah. Different style of competition. I think on the first day they have not stacked the heats. Mm-hmm. So they have kind of like featured lanes. They have identified the top contenders through the research that Halpin and I have done, and some of the local knowledge from the people who live in the UAE who are also on the team, the media team or the broadcast team. Mm-hmm. So you'll see, in that kind of trial style day where everyone's battling to get to the finals, you'll see recognizable athletes in every heat instead of just having like one stacked heat at the end.
Yeah. It's really weird because whenever you see something like this, a big event with this much money involved in it, I always like to go look at their partners and sponsorships. And it's all, most of them are just local, which is crazy, outside of Concept 2. But if I'm Concept 2, hell yeah, with these type of tests, this is a perfect testing ground for what you can do and advertise for, especially with just that biker test. So, yeah. So, but yeah, you take off today for Abu Dhabi, or tomorrow, right?
I'll drive down to Chicago tonight, and then I'll leave to make the trek over. Tomorrow evening. Action
will be as soon as we get. It'll be shown live on the YouTube channel that they have. We'll try to get the link and all that out on B.Friendly Fitness, as well as times. Obviously, they're almost
I think it starts at 9 a.m. local time on Saturday as a Heat 1. And I think that the pool starts at like 7 a.m. on Sunday for Heat 1.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but I'm really interested. I'm looking how long is the longest workout, Jeffrey. I believe that's a 20-minute Concept bike tour They have 20 minutes, and it's measured by watts. And that'll be the second to last event they have. For again, on day 2, they'll start the morning with a 500-meter swim, and that's time caps at 15 minutes, and then they'll move locations, and then they'll flow into basically in 45 minutes. They'll have to do a 7-rep front squat, strict weighted pull-ups, 20-meter constant bike erg, and 5-rep max shoulder press. So it's pretty cool. That one only a minute and a half to do your deadlift and front squats. I mean, it would take me a minute and a half to do 7 reps at a front squat. Just it's really interesting. You're going to see some raw strength there, and people. That warm-up area has got to be crazy.
Yeah. All the times I've been to the UAE before, I've been in Dubai. So excited to go to Abu Dhabi and see the venue and the setup in the city there, staying an extra day afterwards to check it out before going on a little bit of a European adventure.
Yep. Something else happened this weekend. We previewed TFX last week, and I guess we can kind of take a look at it. Well,
what we got here? Well, with the women's field, I think there's Carissa Stapp got injured, Allison Wynn got injured, Michelle Washington never showed up, and then there's 2 others that I had in the top 10 that I spoke to who said they were injured starting the competition, even though they did the competition. So what you end up here with is Caitlin Sanders, who we thought was a favorite, takes it. And
pretty handily, almost 100 points, 80 points.
The only other woman in the top 6 that I even had in the top 10 was Alex DeGarmo. She finished very close to where I had her. Natalie Thompson is pretty inspiring, actually. She's a former team semifinal athlete with CrossFit Kemma, and she's a mother of I think more than 2, but she at least has twins. So what an incredible weekend for her. And Olivia, who finished 3rd, I don't know almost anything about her. So congrats to her for, beating out the field and getting on the podium, battling the elements. It was pretty cold down there this year for TFX.
Yeah, really was from what I heard. I heard it was like 20 degrees, 30 degrees on some days. So congrats on Caitlin. Another championship. She's just, it's like she owns that regional scene when it comes to competitions like that. So nice, good payday for her. I forgot what they paid out, but I do know that it's usually pretty good, and they pay out there. They write you a check as soon as the podium is done. They set up a line, and you just line up and pick up your check.
I think that I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think that Jeremy runs this competition similarly to how Roger runs his in Norway from a pay perspective, is that he doesn't advertise the prize purse.
Yeah,
it's not. I don't think it's really the reason that people go to TFX.
No, it's not.
TFX, tons of divisions, tons of athletes, long-standing history, DNA, their DNA really shows through in everything about it. And then I think he looks at the books and makes a decision that's reasonable, and and goes from there for all the divisions with how he handles the prize purse. And like you said, pays it out and done. But yeah, Caitlin's racking up the wins on these monster games, the Metcon Rush, Fittest of the Coast, TFX style competitions. It's not easy to do. So, she keeps doing it.
Pro men?
Pretty much nailed the pro men. Ilya Moselenko did a little better than I expected, which is great to see. I think that it was probably people who train with him would like know this. I mean, obviously everyone knows how strong he is. It's only a matter of time to find out how much that background will correlate, or how much you'll be able to like supplement that strength background to get into these upper echelons. But it was Bill Leahy and Trayvon Benton. They got out to the start and they stayed in 1 and 2 the whole way. And then it was kind of a battle behind them. Ilya Moselenko takes 3rd. Great finish for him. Johnny Charles, super happy with how he did there. I mean, you're that close to the podium, it's always tough, but he sent me a message yesterday. Said, thanks for believing in me. I was battling to try to get up there for you, but I was obviously just, happy for how great he did. It's always good to be in the hunt. And Travis Williams, I didn't see it until this morning.
Yeah.
Seth put a comment there. Seth Page was like, how weird did it feel to put Travis in the top 10 again?
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, well, it felt great. It felt even better since he finished exactly where I had him. And then Dalton Mankin, dude, I was coin flip between him and Tucker McElmore to put him in the 10 spot, and Tucker didn't even show up. Otherwise, I would have had Dalton in 10th. But there, these two guys in 7th and 8th. No, yeah, 7th and 8th. I don't know those guys, so maybe some new names to keep an eye on. Keegan New, Travis Laiskow. Cole Caldwell was about where I had him finished, and the one guy that I had projected to do well that didn't was Gabriel Townsend. I think he also got injured because he's at the way bottom.
Yeah.
So pretty. The names that you expected, Caio Subiano was 12th there. I had him just inside the top 10. But these guys, him and his brother are so young still. It's great for them to be out there competing. And Arturo Torres didn't compete.
Oh,
so.
yeah, Arturo didn't.
The guys that we expected were up there. Yeah, there's Tucker and Arturo. But yeah, congrats to Bill. Congrats to Caitlin. We always say it on here. Like, there's a different kind of pressure when you're expected to win. They were the favorites coming in. They took care of business, and that counts for something in my book.
Mm-hmm. So, Jeffrey said Tucker was there on a team. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there were quite a few athletes on teams that normally would do individual, or some of the more well-known names were competing on a team. Which, like you said, that's kind of the reason people do TFX. It's more of a community event. It's more like an upscale local like in-house competition. It's just more.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
no. That's what I said. That's why I think it's great, and I think that's exactly what Germany. I don't know, but I think when Germany, when they gave their attempt to be a semifinal last year, I think that made him. I think it made that whole crew maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Just a lot of. Because they do such a good job of doing things on their own. I mean, you're bringing like Carlos Bone, who's in charge.
You don't last 18 years if you can't.
Exactly, and they know what they're doing. So to be, and I thought, it's worth. I think it was worth it for them to do it, to give it a shot. I just think having it at location, they had in Oklahoma City, which in a venue they didn't know, and bringing volunteers in. It was just, I think they took on a little bit more than they wanted to. And I think they feel a little more comfortable doing this. Basically, I call it the Texas State CrossFit Championships. Yeah, and I think that's what they should bill it as. And I think that's what it's been for 18 years. That's why it's been so successful. I mean, outside of semifinals, when they used to have competitions in Texas. I mean, Texas is the biggest state outside of Alaska, right? Is that right? Yeah, landmass. Yeah, so it's the biggest state, and you would figure, and there is a lot of CrossFit there, but you would figure there'd be more high-level competitors coming out of Texas. But
well, it's a volume participation event.
Yeah,
tons of people in that area, gyms that like make it a destination for their competitive communities, and then the people who support them to go there. It's a great environment, like you said, especially if you're within driving distance. It's one that you want to be at as a fan, as a volunteer, as an athlete. So it looked, everything I watched online, it looked like they had another great weekend there. So congrats to everyone who's involved. Obviously, we have a lot of friends who are working at that competition on the judging team, medical staff,
logistics.
The
Shout out, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie and CJ and the whole team there.
Yeah,
Michael Wynn. So, yeah. This upcoming weekend, there's one other competition that I think we'll put out a top 10 for later in the week as it gets a little closer. But our friends in Istanbul are putting it on, the Eurasia Throwdown again. We were there 2 years ago. It was a awesome competition. When I was there, and I think the same has to be true this year, I was looking through their roster of athletes. Like, you're talking 60 plus different nations represented. I don't know what their total athlete pool is going to be this year, but there's some recognizable names in both the men's and women's fields. These are like, man, the guys that run this competition they're awesome guys. See them on the road once in a while. They're the type, again, similar to some of the other competition organizers that I think do a great job. They travel to competitions to learn from other competitions. And Eran and Orjan are the two main guys that I know over there, and just wishing them nothing but the best this week. We'll put out some top 10 picks there because there's some good names. Probably probably won't do a show on that because I'll be in the Middle East, but
That's
didn't want to
euros,
let
right?
it go unmentioned.
That's euros, right? 5,000 euros.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. But either way, I mean, 5,000. I mean, that's still pretty good. I mean, again, that's a good payout for men and women, and that's really cool. They play out to fifth place, which is cool.
Well,
I wish more competitions would at least pay out to the fifth place.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. And you know what? Actually, I was thinking maybe we do a show after, like the week after, because I'm going to Croatia, where to Augie Velishnik's place.
Yeah,
and he's competing in the Masters division.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do a show when I'm with him there, and we can talk about it or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, Augie's always a good person to have.
Dude, it's gonna be crazy. Anton Yakovlev's going there, from what I understand.
I saw that. Yeah.
And Nika Mazeradze. And I want to see those two go head to head because I'm not really sure. And I'm getting like dialing in on the top 100, and I'm not sure where to put Anton yet. But if he's able to pick off Nika Mazeradze on top of the other athletes he's already beat at a place where this is where 50. I first saw Nika. Jorgos Ervis, Simon Lidholm, the 21 to 22 out of Sweden in the IF3s in its inaugural year is there. Andrei Fedotov from Russia, a couple of the best guys from Turkey, a couple guys from Iceland. Diana Pinchuk, I think, maybe the favorite. Yep. Alexander Buzanova, Erika Ekelund, Eva Rampazzi, probably some of the top women. Again, there's a bunch of Russian athletes going there, so maybe there'll be some that surprise us, as there have been at pretty much every competition these last couple of months. But yeah, competition season's in full swing. There was a huge event in Spain, February challenge down in Lyon, all teams. Joe Siasto was there. He was sending me some footage. It was impressive. Circle 21, Namanya was over there. They also sent me like the best steak in the world that they were sharing.
You told me about that picture. So it was probably made like fresh off the bull.
So we got Eurasia, we got Crucible this weekend. I think Fittest of the Coast coming up the weekend after that is the main one. So we'll kind of keep you guys up to date as much as we can. But yeah, I'm heading out for a little 2-week trip. I'm going to go to UAE, Croatia, and Hungary on this trip to visit some places and communities I haven't been to yet.
Yeah. I'm staying here. I was supposed to do something this week with the military, but I don't know if you know this, but we're under a temporary government shutdown again. So that event was canceled, but that means there might be an opportunity for me to head down south, maybe out to Cookville instead. So we'll see. TBD. So and then just catching up on some other stuff.
This is an interesting comment from Wes here. Far East and Copa qualifiers too are also coming up. Well, what qualifier isn't coming up? They had NorCal qualifier, Madrid has qualifiers, French Throwdown has qualifiers,
Monster Games,
Copa, Renegade, Monster Games, WFP, the Open. It's too much. It's too many. There's too many qualifiers going on. It's crazy. I think that's something to look at the bigger picture, but that's not the topic.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a topic for Fitness Under Fire.
No joke, man. I mean, it's I would definitely be curious to get some other people's perspectives on that. Yeah. But in the meantime, to anyone who's doing any of the qualifiers, best of luck on those. That it can set you up for the year that you want. Yes, well, that's why we make our own calendar over here.
Yeah. We could share it with you, Ortega. It's going to cost $20.
It's unless just while the government shutdowns are going on.
Yeah, exactly.
We can take the tactic.
You know what I'm talking about. Ortega, he went through a couple of government shutdowns when he was in. But no, just send me a message, Ortega. Maybe I could help you out with some of that. You can pay me in coffee instead. I do drink coffee now, so yeah. So. But yeah, what else we got? We got Fitness Under Fire. Obviously, the latest episode's up. We're shooting another episode this week with some special guests that'll be hopefully coming out towards the end of the week. So make sure, if you haven't, head to the Fitness Under Fire Instagram account and follow that. We'll have some cool stuff coming up with that. yeah, I was trying to think of any other things. I mean, you know, it seems like you know, the two talks you've had with Hiller have done really well. So congrats. How do you feel about Andrew kind of like shifting to this podcast thing? I mean, your thoughts on that? I mean, you've done two of them. He obviously he had his buddy on the other day, which I really enjoyed listening to him. I didn't know who he was, but I really love listening to that guy. And you know, I love the interview format. But I'm more curious about what you think about it.
I might put that one on when I'm driving today. I have a few shorter things I want to listen to as well. I mean, I know Andrew's done like his in his past, whatever, he's done a lot of podcasts in this setting. But he, as with many things that it comes to Andrew, he's very consistent, and he has told me for a long time that he likes the live concept much better than the Zoom, whatever this is called.
Yeah, the Zoom style.
And credit to him. I mean, he's spent, from what I understand, a significant amount of time setting that studio up, getting the correct equipment, messing around with the layout of it. I think that he and Alexis have done several trials down there before he ever invited me over to do that. And I live close enough that there's times that I can easily go there. It's obviously it's limiting to some capacity, but if you flash back to the prime days of CrossFit Media, well, they were doing the desk show on site from CrossFit HQ, and they were doing the CrossFit podcast on site live from Savon's office. And they flew people in for that, or drove them in, or whatever they had to. So the format's proven in the past. I don't know if Andrew's in a spot where he's going to be wanting to fly people in to do this podcast, or if people would fly there to do it with him. But when you can get people on site, I think it has a lot of potential.
I think he's mentioned, and I think it would be good. I mean, one, if people are willing to tell their story, to fly in to do that. I mean, it's easy airport to fly into, but I guess that is why Hiller Fit marriage is going up to $50. It costs money to bring people like Brian in. I'm just kidding.
Hey, don't start spreading that.
I know.
That's the last thing I need.
People were like, "What,
dude?
Hiller paid Brian to come in, or Brian to make?"
Even when I say publicly I paid for this entire trip, there's people that like to project the narrative that I was paid to do whatever.
I know.
And then if I do say that I paid for the trip, I get crucified for that.
Your hotel was covered. That means they paid you.
Oh man,
so stupid. No, I really like.
But I also want to say this: like the first one that we did in the studio there. If you didn't catch what he did, he went back and watched one of his most popular non-athlete videos that he ever made, which is basically a public humiliation of me. And he went through the episode and pulled out things that he thought were either maybe a little bit questionable, or that at least I deserved the chance to have a comment or to weigh in on. He initiated all of that, and wanted to do that. That was pretty. I don't think that many people would have expected that from us, from him.
I think that's also part of the reason why he does it. Is like, Andrew also wants to keep people on their toes.
Expect the unexpected.
Exactly, the unknown and unknowable, right? But I think there is an opportunity there for Andrew, and I think that's what he wants to do. Watching what he did with you and how he's already learned from the two talks with you, his most recent one, it just like it's very, Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan-esque, where it's not too scripted. Like even you guys had like the top 10, those questions he went through. Yeah, they're scripted, but none of the conversation was scripted. At no point did you guys go, okay, I'm going to show you this, and this is what we're going to talk, blah, blah. It was just like, it was two dudes having a conversation. And that really comes off in this most recent episode. And I think it's because it's a guy he's known for a while. And, it's like, it really reminded me of like watching Joe Rogan with, Joe Rogan. If there's something that I think my favorite episodes of Joe Rogan is when he brings in people that not many people do know, but they're the experts in their field. And he wants to learn about that field, whether it be science, religion, or whatever. Those are, I think, the best Joe Rogan shows. I think that's what he can do or wants to do. I'm not going to tell Andrew what he wants to do. Obviously, I don't know what he wants to do, but to bring in some of those experts and educate him because he wants to have those conversations, and it was just really cool watching that. And it's a really, like I said,
that's what Sevon did at CrossFit headquarters.
He did,
and it wasn't live, but that's what the origins of the Sevon podcast were too. A lot of that first year were conversations with people who you would consider to be subject matter experts in fields that were tangent to CrossFit, not explicitly CrossFit. But yeah, I mean, I think Andrew's got a personality, attention to detail, preparation that can, he can set up and do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. Like I said, he went live and he, this weekend about Chandler's posts. And, and I thought what him going live and asking like, I don't know what this post is about. He wasn't bashing Chandler.
Yeah, I literally got 3 messages from 3 different people asking, what is this about?
Yeah.
So he was echoing the general sentiment of a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think that's one of those platforms, like, like, I don't know. I don't know if, Chandler's one of those guys who, if he meets you in person, he's going to be just a gentleman, show you respect and, just have great conversations with you. I mean, that's one of those things. I'm sure this weekend you'll have many conversations with Chandler about everything from, fitness to politics to family life to Europe, all this stuff. And I think
I just can't get enough of the political talk.
Yeah. Yeah. But, exactly. But, I think that would be that's the type of thing. It's like he sees something like that. And, if someone like Chandler wants to explain himself, that, I mean, who are you going to go on? Who, if you want to, let's say you have to want to, who's Chandler going to go on to have those conversations? Sevon? I doubt it. Peter? Probably not. Us? We've tried a couple times, but I think for me, it's like I think I'm too close with Chandler to kind of take advantage of that. If he wanted to come on, that's great. It's a different story. But I don't think I'm going to go out there and ask him. But someone like Hiller, and Hiller does have a really good relationship with athletes. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more people coming into Chicago's, making that trip to Downers Grove, meeting the dogs, and just sitting in the basement and just chopping it up with them. And then
that was your favorite part, wasn't it? The dogs.
But of course. That's the first thing I wanted. I wanted to hang out with the dogs more than I wanted you. And then, but the good thing is he has that gym.
Dogs and Andrew, and I was just there.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, if you go to Andrew's, it's very similar, like Joe Rogan's setup. He has a gym connected to his studio, so he'll do workouts with people who want to work out. Or he'll invite them in, and he has or drink coffee or have lunch or whatever.
I think you bring someone in and work out with them before you do a podcast, you get a better podcast.
Exactly. I think so too. And I think that's the formula that he can offer that hasn't been done since CrossFit. And I think that was the one advantage of CrossFit and Sevon had is like when they had that HQ, there were always people coming in every week, every weekend. There was some type of athlete or someone important to the CrossFit space that was there. So it was really easy for Sevon to grab them or have them be a guest. But like you said, they would work out downstairs and then come upstairs and do that stuff. That's what we did at ESPN whenever we had guests and, they kind of spent a whole day at ESPN. They'd be on 3 or 4 different shows. They go to the gym, work out, shoot a commercial, stuff like that. So, well, cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Brian again is going to be gone. Oh, HCR CBD. Go ahead, Brian. Take it.
No, they've been teasing some new stuff on their site. I think they're getting pretty close to a launch. Obviously they've been with us for a long time. So, be on the lookout. I think Alex Kazan's getting involved with something over there from the teasers. And I'm excited for Carl and the crew for the next evolution of HGR CBD.
I am too. We've been talking about them for a while now. Also want to send a shout out to a couple people here. Matt and Sammy, congratulations. They got married last weekend, not this past weekend. I know a lot of people, like, they weren't already married, but congratulations on them. And then also a shout out to Justin Kotler. For those who don't know, he's spent a little over basically the holidays since he got back from Copenhagen.
A whole month.
Yeah, a month in in the hospital, including I believe 2 weeks at the Mayo Clinic in Arizona. So he's out. He's feeling better. I think they got it under control. He's so if you know Justin, maybe send him a message. Just tell him that you're happy that he's out and he's doing good. So I was able to talk to Justin quite a few times while he was in hospital. So glad that he's out and glad he's doing well. And shout out to Ashley. Kind of just
holding it down,
with the kids. So she's an amazing part of that relationship between Justin. So shout out to Ashley as well. So all right, cool. So yeah, thanks to everyone showing up. Thanks HCR CBD, and Brian, you have a safe flight, and we will see everyone next week. But until then, be friendly, our friend.